It's Christmas time, and I just have to share this story with you. I'm not sure about you, but I often think about, what was Bethlehem like when Jesus left all of his glory, left his kingdom, left the Godhead, and he miraculously and amazingly steps humbly into human history. What was Bethlehem like at that time? And why were shepherds chosen of all people to go and see Jesus first? Why shepherds? What was the point? And so I did a little research, and I found out that when you were a shepherd in Jesus' day, this was no longer like the glory days of being a shepherd. Sometimes we think of shepherds in the Bible, and we picture them all in their nice robes and their perfectly curved staff, and maybe we picture it like David, and he's sitting there and he's writing all the Psalms and beautiful poetry, and he's, miraculously with his little weapons that he has, killing lions and bears and tigers. Oh my, maybe not really tigers, but he's protecting his flock, and we see this job of a shepherd as like just awesome, right? Well, you fast forward a few hundred years, and the glory days of being a shepherd, they are long forgotten. In fact, if you were a shepherd in Jesus' day, this basically meant that you had messed up your life or taken the wrong path, and the only thing that was left for you to even do was to be a shepherd. You couldn't even have the animals inside the city. So when they say it was in Bethlehem, really, these are the fields right outside of the city, because you weren't even allowed to be in the city with the people. In fact, if you were a shepherd and something was said against you and you needed to go to the court, you couldn't even go in and defend yourself. You had to have somebody else do that. In fact, the shepherds weren't even allowed in the temple area where the sacrifices were done to forgive them of their sins. They weren't even allowed in there. The shepherds were literally seen as the lowest of the low. And yet, God comes to them first on this amazing night. Why would God come to the shepherds? Well, you see, the shepherds had a really important job. Even if the people looked at them like they were the lowest of the low, one of the jobs of the shepherd was one of the most highly needed jobs out there, highly respected things that you could ever do. You see, it was the shepherd's job that when a sheep would go into labor and a lamb would be born, it was the shepherd's job to look at this lamb and go, does this lamb have any spots or blemishes? Is it perfect? You see, it was the shepherd's job to find the perfect, spotless, blemish-free lambs that would be worthy to be sacrificed. It was their job. That was like the highlight. If they found a perfect lamb, this was like one of the best days to being a shepherd, is I have found a lamb that is worthy to be our sacrifice. And God comes to them, the ones that are responsible for finding the perfect lambs. The lowest of the low shepherds, the ones who didn't amount to anything else, or the ones who had messed up so bad they couldn't do anything else but be shepherds. God comes to them and says, come here, let me show you the perfect lamb. Let me show you this child that's been born. This is my child. Let me show you. This is the one that's going to change the world. And the lowly shepherd, they're the first people outside of Mary and Joseph to see the perfect lamb. The one who would grow up and become a man and one day be the permanent sacrifice for all of us. So as you think about Christmas this year, don't get caught up in all of the busyness. I love Christmas so much. I love the lights. I love people watching. I love shopping. I love cookies. I love giving gifts. I love giving gifts. That's like, to me, the best part of my Christmas is giving gifts. But sometimes, we can get so wrapped up in the gifts that we're receiving or the gifts that we're giving or the parties that we're attending that we forget to truly celebrate the greatest gift that was ever given. Jesus. The perfect, spotless, and blemish-free Lamb that would ever come. That became our sacrifice. So don't be so busy this year that you miss the greatest gift.